Gentle disclaimer to all of our listeners. All medical information mentioned in this podcast is purely informational. It is not individualized medical advice. Please follow up with your physician or medical practitioner for individualized care specific to your needs. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Know and Do Better podcast. My name is Dr. Melanie Carminati, and you all are in for a treat. This podcast, titled What is Pilates?, will feature multiple Pilates teachers in New York City answering the same 3 questions. I thought of this because since I've been involved in Pilates since I was a teenager and becoming a fully certified Pilates teacher and then using Pilates for physical therapy with my physical therapy patients, I have experienced firsthand all of the different styles of Pilates certifications, Pilates teaching, and the evolution of Pilates and where Pilates is going. I'm always curious to hear other respected colleagues of mine's opinions on how do they describe Pilates, and in their experience, how can Pilates be a transformative practice? And then, of course, where do they envision Pilates going in the next 10 years? So those are the 3 questions that will be answered in these individual self-recorded podcasts. The first question is, what is Pilates? The second is, in your experience, how can Pilates be a transformative practice? And the last question is, where do you envision the evolution of Pilates going in the next 10 years? Our special guests in this podcast will be Simona Tucci, Tracy Matthews, Gail Javiniello, Margie Douglas, Celine Cislow, Blossom Leilani Crawford, and Ellie Kusner. I hope you all enjoy this collection of self-recorded interviews, and I know that I enjoyed listening to all of them, and it's always nice to hear the different perspectives and the different visions for Pilates. We will start off with Simona Tucci. Enjoy!
Hello, ciao a tutti. Thank you, Melanie, for having me. My name is Simona Tucci. I am a master trainer and owner of EHPilates by Simona in Brooklyn. So what is Pilates? Joseph Pilates always said that the mind shapes your body. Well, I love to say that Pilates is an intricate tool to control the mind and the body and help to shape them. At Pilates by Simona, we love to help clients develop this connection in order to achieve better quality and harmony of the movement. We see the purpose of exercise in a completely different way. We exercise to feel confident, to feel empowered, and to feel amazing. How can Pilates be transformative? As a dancer and performer, I loved to push my body beyond its limit. When I was pregnant, I had more limitation than before, and Pilates gave me a new and healthy way to achieve my goals. It changed my mind's relationship to my body. I didn't need to push that hard to feel my workout accomplished. You can get the same results without pushing in a way that may cause injury, like many other types of exercise or disciplines. As a professional dancer, my world was very competitive and sometimes create anxiety. In Pilates, you follow the instructions of your trainer who helps you achieve more awareness of your body. That is a transformative without creating that anxiety. You get a better, healthier result with Pilates while your posture and confidence improves. My experience and knowledge earned through dance has informed my practice and my work as a trainer. I am motivated to achieve a better physique in my clients in the healthiest way possible. Joseph Pilates said that the change will be visible after 30 sessions. Well, I completely agree. You will have a whole new body. I know Pilates is a practice you can and should use through your entire life. Where do I envision Pilates going in the next 10 years? Well, I hope that Pilates will be more accessible and considered as important as a physical therapy, as a prescription for good health. There's nothing quite like Pilates. Anyone can practice at any age or ability. It's a practice with controlled, precise, and repeated movement. That's why it is such an effective way of exercise. I imagine there will be a new machine and new techniques, but the principle of Pilates cannot be changed. My own style is to always look for new ways to move the body, to engage the muscle. I love to be creative, and I love to teach my clients how to work on the quality of movement to become an advanced mover. But yet, this is achieved by always following the principle of Pilates. Concentration, breath, control, stability, focus, flow, and strength. If you have any question, please email us at pilatesbysimona.com. I hope to see you at the studio, and thank you so much, Melanie, for having me. Have a great rest of the day. Bye!
Next, Tracy Matthews.
Hi, Melanie. My name is Tracy Matthews. I am a master Pilates trainer, dynamic embodiment practitioner, and founder of Intuitive Motion Pilates. I also specialize in working with clients suffering from chronic pain and injury recovery. What is Pilates? Pilates is an exercise system designed to improve posture, strength, and flexibility in a healthy and supportive way. It was created by Joseph Pilates, who originally called it Controlology. In the 1920s, Joseph Pilates designed and patented his machines, ingeniously using spring-loaded weight to easily challenge and adapt for people's heights, weights, and strength variations. He also developed the basic exercises. I teach contemporary Pilates, which integrates additional exercises and approaches from other disciplines, as well and continues to be informed by new findings in science, particularly in anatomy and kinesiology. In your experience, how can Pilates be a transformative practice? In my experience, Pilates is a transformative practice in so many ways. Body awareness, balance, coordination, posture, strength, and connection are just to name a few. It is amazing to witness someone start Pilates and then within a few sessions have a whole new sense of how to organize themselves, from sitting to standing to doing great Pilates choreography in a class. The improvements continue the more they continue the practice, and adapting it and utilizing it in other disciplines, other exercises. Such a useful way of learning how to organize your body. Personally, I like to do a lot of different activities, from skiing to rock wall climbing to hiking and biking. Every exercise has benefit and has improved from my Pilates practice. And I have clients from all different exercise environments, semi-pro tennis players to ABT professional dancers, ballet dancers to modern dancers to surfers, golfers, and we all use the Pilates training and choreography with the goals of improving those sports and activities for themselves. And it's just an incredible experience seeing how that works for everybody. It really is just endless, and it's adaptable and informative. Where do you envision the evolution of Pilates going in the next 10 years? The industry just keeps surprising me. A few years ago, remote training was barely a thought, and now it is here to stay. I fully believe Pilates will continue to thrive and find its way into more and more people's lives. Joseph Pilates was such an innovator. Just grateful to be able to share what I know with my community. So thanks for having me on your podcast, and take care.
Next up, Gail Javiniello.
Hi, my name is Gail Javiniello. I am the founder and sole proprietor of Mind Your Body, located on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. I opened in 1995 while juggling a dance career. Today, I have 2 locations and 15 employees. Pilates is a movement, technique, and concept developed by Joseph Pilates. All of the equipment was also designed by him. Pilates is a full body system designed to condition all physical systems. Like yoga, the Pilates exercises are intended to be repeated, such as is a practice. In my experience, Pilates can be transformative by finding a practice that supports Joe's original intention. For me, this is the most effective way. However, all Pilates will provide physical and mental well-being. I envision Pilates becoming much more physical. As with sports and dance, people have become very skilled, proficient, and athletic. As long as the concepts and integrity is maintained a creative approach will successfully evolve Pilates. However, I also feel that the lineage instructors will be more and more sought after.
Moving on to Margie Douglas.
I'm Margie Douglas. I teach in Brooklyn, New York. I have a studio called the Pilates Garage. And in my experience, how can Pilates be a transformative practice? I have to go back again to the roots of what Pilates was looking to do, which was to give anyone a chance to find more strength and a better overall athleticism in their body. And one of the things I found so wonderful and satisfying about this work is that there are people who have injuries that need things to be modified and safe and yet challenging and fun. And that's really tricky. But one of the really great examples, I think, of transformation that I've witnessed, we've got a class that we've been teaching. Myself and physical therapist Caroline Feig teach a class called Pilates for Amputees. It was in person for quite a while, and then it went online in COVID. And we're still working on Zoom, and there's a steady group of amputees that come, and we combine Pilates with Alexander technique and Feldenkrais. And those things all together have been able to help these amputees find ease, balance, integration, wellness, strength. One of the students described one time that after our session, she was able to realize that sometimes taking a step provoked a kind of fight or flight response or a fear gripping response, and that she was able to let that go and trust herself. And she has gotten stronger and stronger. She's been climbing, she's riding horses. It's amazing to see that. And I see, that kind of a parallel with so many of our clients that are coming into the studio, where they are walking out saying, wow, I feel so much taller, I feel lighter, I feel more ready to do what I need to do. I wish I had this, every day with you. It is a real moment of stepping up again and moving forward. And it can change the psychology of a person from being quite down when they arrive to feeling up and ready when they leave. The root of Pilates is the same. It is a system of exercise. It was developed by a man named Joseph Pilates, Pilates. That was his name. And he was making this work in the early 1900s. As a child, he had to overcome his own weakness brought on by asthma and other health issues. And he studied many different techniques in sports, and he eventually became a very accomplished athlete and physical trainer. And the thing that I love to talk to clients about is that he developed these machines and many of these exercises to help rehabilitate injured soldiers in World War I. People that were in beds that couldn't barely move. That's where these machines came from, these strange machines with springs hanging down and things that look like beds with springs on them. He developed them because these people couldn't get up and do yoga and other kinds of physical movement. They were in some ways very limited. So Pilates was trying to help people reconnect with their core, to support them and guide them into their center line of strength and support. I love to talk about that because I think many clients are intimidated by Pilates. Oh, I can't do that. I heard how difficult it is. But really, it's designed to work for any body, B-O-D-Y, anyone. In the hands of the right teacher, these exercises and these machines can be wonderful for all kinds of people and can help people find their way back into healthy movement. All of the sessions in most studios would include mat work, but also work on the equipment or props created by Pilates. And in some ways, the work really helps guide not only our strength, but our control, our sensitivity. All of the machines are connected to springs, not weights, which means you have to guide the springs and control them in a certain way. He called his method contrology before it was called Pilates, the art of control. And I love Pilates. It incorporates awareness and specificity with each and every movement. The teacher and the student have to be organized and intentional, and it can be easily modified for injuries and challenges, physical challenges. Pilates overall focuses on core strength, flexibility, coordination, intentionality of how you are using your spine, knowing what you're doing, when you're doing, why you're doing it. It helps us all to organize, feel stronger, and move forward, which is something we all really need right now. Where do I envision the evolution of Pilates going in the next 10 years? I see more and more that clients of all ages and backgrounds are needing a steady influence of smart and intentional exercise. There are many trends that will come and go, but systems like Pilates that bring us back to basics and keep us centered will stick around. I myself combine Pilates with Alexander technique, which is a hands-on and mind-body awareness technique, promoting a better use of self, more efficient choices, making choices from moment to moment that promote ease in daily activity and help with exercise. It fits really hand in glove with many of the Pilates exercises, and the equipment supports it. I see that this combination of Pilates with other arenas is going to begin to bring it out more and more into the population. I would love to see it active more in rehabilitation centers and hospitals and elderly care, nursing homes, and also for young adults who need confidence and grounding and body and movement education. It is really a very universal and flexible system, and I hope that practitioners like myself and others will continue to find ways to make it accessible to everyone.
Blossom Leilani Crawford.
I love the question, what is Pilates? And in some sense, it's so simple. I could say, it's a series of exercises that were created by Mr. Pilates that usually use equipment, but it doesn't have to. It could just be on the mat. That's sort of the technical answer, but I really think what Pilates is yes, a series of exercises that started by Mr. Pilates and that were taken on by other people who became leaders in the field, and now encompasses so much more. Yes, there are springs involved, and maybe not if you're doing mat work, but really I think Pilates is a way of moving that brings in awareness, that focuses on alignment, and that may or may not, where some of the exercises may or may not have come from Mr. Pilates and have evolved, and that evolution seems to be what is almost controversial in some departments. But really, I think if you were to boil it down, it's about simply moving well with intention, with thought in mind, and with a focus of alignment and abdominal strength. But you would think that just asking what Pilates is would be such a simple answer. How can Pilates be a transformative experience? I love this question. I think the big thing is that it can't be rote. If you do the same thing every time without thinking, then it's not going to be a transformative experience. You have to have some sort of thought or intention behind it. Are you trying to do more of something? Are you trying to do it against more weight or springs? But I think there has to be a goal in mind. And most of all, really, what are you trying to achieve? And that's what's great about Pilates. You can have so many different kinds of goals. I can be working on someone's posture, on just trying to sit up straighter. I can be working with a client who's trying to get stronger as her baby gets bigger so she can lift that baby out of the crib easier. So to make it transformative, you have to have goals in mind. You have to make it harder, and that sometimes takes work. So that's the other thing I would say is intention, and that it's going to take some work and sweat to get to that place where Pilates becomes transformative. But really, for me, my favorite part is the thinking behind it, not just doing the same thing the same way every time, because that's I think the path to actually hurting yourself and not transforming yourself. People have asked me, where do I think Pilates is going in the next 10 years? And it's hard to say, because I think for me, there's where I would like it to be going and where it is headed. And just because I want it to be headed in one direction doesn't necessarily mean that I can steer it. But what I would love is I'd love for people to stop talking about whose Pilates is better. I think for a long time there, that was the conversation that came up of like, oh, you do Pilates, what kind of Pilates? I really just hope that people really see it as a movement modality that people can enjoy and love. And if you are working with someone that you're like, I don't know if this person's for me, find another person. I think what's happened in the past few years is that we have so many more options of places that we can work out or ways that we can work out. There's so much access now to people all over the world. So if you think you might want to try something different, you can try something different. What I personally think or would like to see Pilates, tap into Pilates, is I'd like people to stop thinking of what is the right way to do something based on what someone has made up. I would like people to sort of look at the choreography that happens within Pilates and see what it is that it's actually doing for the person's body or mind and go, oh, okay, this is what the movement is, but how can I really make it for this person? Should I make it faster? Should I make it slower? Should I add more load here because we're trying to get them stronger? Because I feel like sometimes people in their efforts to be a good Pilates instructor are trying to stick to a certain dogma of like, this is how it's supposed to be done. But I really think there are so many different kinds of bodies and ways of thinking out there and different goals that we have physically. So how can one exercise be good for all kinds of bodies that are trying to maybe do different things? I think really trying to do, as we sometimes in the Pilates world say, we try to say that we teach to the body in front of us, but I'd really love to see more of that. And on top of that, I'd love to see people, at least this is what I do, and it's really been working for me, is I've really been enjoying making Pilates a little more three-dimensional. I love how traditional Pilates is there's a lot of focus on the sagittal plane, but I think it's really fun to throw in a twist or two here or there, which has been transformative for me as I get older and have been doing Pilates longer and longer. And I hope to see more of that kind of movements or creativity in people as I watch the Pilates world and industry grow and evolve.
Celine Cislow.
Hello, my name is Celine Cislow, and I am the owner and one of the instructors at Annex Pilates in Brooklyn, New York. What is Pilates? Pilates is a practice. It is a series of movements that trains one in awareness of the breath and the body moving through space. It allows us to tune in and tune up as one would with any machine. The ability to move and breathe well is so empowering. The Pilates practice can transform our day-to-day activities into an opportunity for a better quality of life. I see people step into the room feeling a certain way, and within the hour, they can change into a better version of themselves. It's a beautiful thing to observe, and I feel very lucky to be able to provide people the tools they need to move better and feel better. Where do you envision the evolution of Pilates going in the next 10 years? In 10 years, I see Pilates in elementary schools. The practice plays on elementary skills and body mechanics. Bringing Pilates to the youth is a way to start this awareness of posture and the carriage of oneself early, while their mind and body are still sharpening motor skills. Every body can do Pilates, or some version of it, whether objectively old or young. Pilates is so accessible and should be accessible to everyone.
And our final guest will be Ellie Kusner.
Hi, my name is Ellie Kushner, and I'm a Pilates teacher in New York City. For almost 20 years, I've been teaching Pilates to dancers and the general population. I work at the Juilliard School, where I'm a faculty member, at my home studio in Manhattan, and at the Mark Morris Wellness Center in downtown Brooklyn. What is Pilates? Pilates, as I understand it, is a collection of movements that are meant to improve how people experience movement and feel in their day-to-day life. The 6 key principles of Pilates, as defined by Joseph Pilates himself, are center, concentration, flow, breath, precision, and control. So to improve your Pilates practice means to get better at these things, whatever that means to you, however you interpret that. Improving your strength, range of motion, balance, and posture may be additional benefits of the work as well, depending on how you practice and where your practice began. When I teach Pilates, I'm most interested in overlapping imagery and physical practice to help students establish healthy, efficient movement patterns. I'm also aiming to simply help people experience the joy or pleasure of exploring their body while in motion. Where do you envision Pilates going in the next 10 years? Well, 10 years is a long time, so I don't know if I can say where the field is going in the next decade, but I do hope that there's a movement towards simplicity. With social media being so visually oriented, it seems there's been a huge uptick in beautiful, spectacular movers doing beautiful and spectacular, often complicated moves. While I enjoy watching these as somebody who is aesthetically minded, the reality is that those kinds of moves don't serve a wide range of the population. I'm beginning to see more people dig deeper into simple movements, finding ways to be subtly creative and expansive with really fundamental movements. I find this interesting, and I hope we see more of it in the next 10 years. I hope that our field continues to find ways to be more inclusive and inviting to as many people as possible. And I hope to see more of the fabulous teaching that is all around me. There's really amazing practitioners out there doing really brilliant work, and I'm sure we'll continue to see more and more of that.
Thank you all so much for listening to this very special podcast. And thank you to all of our guests. This was a really exciting and awesome podcast to record and to listen to everyone's unique perspective and experience with Pilates. If you are listening and you'd like to get in touch with any of the guests, their contact information is listed in the podcast description, as well as in our Instagram and other social media platforms. Thank you so much, and stay tuned next month for another informative podcast. Take care.